Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's webinar. Today we're going to be going over some of the new features that we've added to the Agency Life Quoter and showing you those here in the live demo. Thank you all for joining us. We're excited for the participation we get in these webinars. It's very helpful to be able to get people on here and show you in real time what's going on and some of the new things that we're doing at IXN. If you're new to IXN, you've probably seen our email campaigns or something like that, and you probably want to, if you want to learn more, I'll provide our contact information here at the end. Feel free to reach out. If you're a current user of IXN, you've probably seen us doing some updates, and you're probably curious about some of those. And so we're going to be going through some of those today. We're going to take a little bit of a different approach. This is our third webinar and final webinar of this series. We're going to be doing something slightly different today than the other two because we have been getting a ton of feedback on the new updates that we did. And so we want to, we've been taking some of that feedback and we've been really listening. So if you haven't given us feedback yet, please send it to us because it's very important. We're taking that into account very actively right now, and I'm going to show you how we've utilized this already to possibly make some changes pretty quickly here to the platform. So, an introduction: my name is Lassie Young. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer here at IXN, and I will be your Sherpa through today's demo here. So first of all, there's a few goals I want to go over with you that are kind of the goals behind the updates that we've done this time around. It's a three-tiered approach. Number one was speed. We wanted the quote engine to be the fastest process in the industry, and we really think it is. Even with some of the new updates, I think it's even faster. And so, we want the efficiency of using IXN to be top-notch. We want you to be able to get to where you're going quickly. Number two is user experience, and I wouldn't say that these are in any particular order of importance. They're all pretty equally important. But number two is user experience, and ease of use is key for us. And we think the new flow makes it easy and efficient to get to what you want. Not just to quote what you want or to get some quick quotes, but to really get what you want. And number three was scalability. We plan on expanding the quote engine with other features in the future, and this is a step towards preparing for that. It's very important that we're able to expand it. If you've been a customer of IXN, you've probably seen here in the fall, pretty much on a monthly basis, we're doing new updates. We added final expense quoting this fall. We added all these new features to the Agency Life Quoter and other things as well. So we're doing quite a bit. And we're moving at a pretty fast pace. So if you're interested in working with a company who is looking towards the future, who's going to be expanding the platform, who's continuously looking at creating faster processes, better user experience, you're at the right place, and IXN is that for you. As I go, feel free to ask any questions that you have here in the right-hand side or down below. It looks like a couple people were having issues with the audio. It looks like those issues were answered, so hopefully everyone can hear me. But basically, here's kind of an overview of what's new. We've got a new user experience and flow. There's an IXN login option available. You can quote multiple face amounts. That was one we had a lot of requests for, be able to quote more than one face amount. You don't have to quote multiple face amounts, but you can. It's interesting, as we were asking for feedback, we had some people say they didn't like that you could quote multiple face amounts, which didn't make any sense to me because you can just quote one, but you can also quote more if you want. You can filter by product feature, and we'll talk a little bit about that today. There's some new advanced embed configurations for those of you who are using our autofilling options and things like that. Most of you, if you don't know what that is, then you probably aren't using it. And if you're interested in learning about it, let us know. Reach out to your contact at support, your account rep here at IXN. They can help you get that set up and and it's usually a more in-depth development or developer mode. So you can autofill agent information, client information, stuff like that. A lot of times that's utilized from like a content management system or like a CRM or an AMS, something like that, custom integration. We now estimate quote results based on criteria change. We limit the amount of quote resulting. The limit on the amount of quote results is increased. Some of you may have run into that where you can only run a certain amount, and we've increased that. I'd love to hear feedback on that if that's helped improve your process. Search bar, we've added a search bar to the quote results. There's some new filtering options. There's a premium slider. And I'm going to show you all this, but there's a feature list added to the carrier details section, and the compare screen added to the options. There's new PDF layouts. Another one we got a lot of feedback on, that people wanted different layouts for the PDF outputs, and we can even do custom PDFs. So if you have your own PDF that you want, and maybe you need a separate design, your use case is maybe a little bit different than what we're used to, then reach out to us. We can build you a custom layout. There's a cost, but it's not too bad. So, and then you may have seen a few months ago we did a new forms layout that came out. That came out a while ago, but it's kind of integrated into all the products. And that was part of this move to this new way of doing things. So those are kind of the overall list of options there that we've added. So let's take a look at the new platform. And so many of you may have seen this already if you're a current user of IXN, but here is the new Agency Life Quoter. And like I mentioned earlier on, this is going to be a little bit different today, because normally we would have just shown this one, but we've got a lot of feedback. We've been getting a ton of feedback from our customer base on this user experience, and we really liked it, but a lot of people said they didn't like how many clicks it took to get to the quote results. So you had to kind of click through these pills up here, as we call them, or buttons, to get to the quote results. A lot of people thought features was required, riders was required to get there, but so they didn't like having to open those. And if you do like it, let us know so we can make sure we take that into account. So it looks like, Joseph, you're having some issues with audio, and we'll be sure to send you the recording afterwards. We will also be posting this on YouTube. Sorry about that, Joseph. You probably can't hear me anyway, but as far as some of the feedback that we've been getting, we're probably going to do an update, and that's to something like this. You'll notice that this is basically a view of all these screens here expanded. So it takes a lot less clicks to get to your quote results. And it should help you get to where you're going much quicker. And that was one of the main pieces of feedback that we really got from this new layout. This will still be there for a time until we're ready with this new one. So we apologize for the steps, but we really think, but keep in mind that this had to do with a lot of the feedback that we got from our customer base, that they wanted something quicker to get to the quote results rather than having to open these and close them as you go through. But to kind of go through some of the new features here, I'll show you that here, since this is what you guys are using. In this agent section, you'll probably know there's a login option. This kind of prepares us for the future if you want to have the login option. That's something that can be there if you want it. If not, you don't have to log in. One of the appeals of the IXN platform is that there's no need to log in to access the platform. You can put it behind a password protected area of your website, which is usually what we recommend, but it's not required. So you can make it required or non-required to enter in the agent information, but the login is not required either. All it does right now is autofill this agent information if they log in, and that's all from the dashboard. that's where that comes from. So if you're a user of the dashboard, there's a members section. That's where it's pulling this information from. The next section here is the proposed insured. And so you can come in here and you select the health class. You put in the client name. Let's say it's John Doe. We can change it to date of birth if we want, or age. Right here, let's say we're in the state of Kentucky, and or preferred health class. You can still select multiple classes. You can still compare table rating. You'll see the number of quote results adjust as we go. There's a coverage amount option, the face amount. So you can put in multiple face amounts. That's new. And you can, in the new one, that's going to be up here. Same exact user experience. You just don't have to open it up to find that. Looks like there was a question about if the login is used, would quotes be able to be saved? Dale, that's a great question. And that is part of the preparation that we're moving towards. And that's part of the reason we've added that is a lot of people want that to be able to save quotes for review later, or for the BGA to review it or something like that. And right now that's not quite there yet, but if that's something that is important to you, please send it to us. Let us know. There's several different ways you can let us know about that. Probably the best way is either to email support@ixn.tech or product@ixn.tech actually. So product@ixn.tech. I'll put that in the chat here. Or you can come into your dashboard here, go down to the roadmap section. And if you click on roadmap, you can see there's a whole bunch of different things that have been requested, different candidates for new items. And up here, you can submit an idea. And the more we hear from you, the more likely we are to add something like that to the platform. So whether you request it or not, come in here and request it, and let us know if that's something that you think would be valuable to you. That's a lot of these new features, a lot of these adjustments that we're making right now are based on, pretty much all of it is based on feedback. We take all the feedback we get and we try to aggregate it. And another question that came in here is on the health class section, are you able to search for specific condition instead of just class? Right now, no. Right now you can come in here and you have to select the health class. You can also open the underwriting guide. So if you need to reference a specific underwriting guide from a carrier, you can do that right here. In the new feature, we're thinking about putting that down here. We've added this little toolbox section down here, and Washington, as a answer to your question, so the answer right now is no. But this is something that we're actually working on. We're working on an integration with one of our partners called Paperless Solutions Group for a product called Evaluate, which basically, part of the reason for this new user interface is that you can see here there's a needs analysis coming soon. That's something that's in the works right now. And then there will be another button that says you'll be able to run it with a health analyzer. And that's where you'll be able to put in different health conditions and things like that to get to the right quote results, rather than just having to select the health class. At that point, it would select the health class for you. So that is in the works, Washington, but it's a little ways out, unfortunately. But again, please let us know that that's something you want, because not only do we then put priority on those types of things, but then we can reach out to you when we're ready with it, when we've launched it, and we can say, hey, you wanted that? Here it is, and make sure we let you know as soon as possible. Maybe even make you a beta tester if you want to try it out before we go live, and make sure it's have some say in what we launch and things like that. So great questions, but let's come back here. Robert, you asked, this screen is handy. I'm assuming you're referring to this screen here. This is not in the current one. This is This is the current quote engine that we have, this will be. This is the feed. This is why we've been asking so much for feedback. Is this is based on a lot of the feedback that we're getting. This is probably what we're going to be moving towards The quote results are all very similar to what the current one is, but we're going to add this little button down here where you can add all kinds of things to the toolbox. We may even allow you to add your own tools to the toolbox and things like that. And so this will be, I think this will help us expand the quote engine quite a bit. Pretty cool. So, let's go through and let's select. We've selected our carriers, and you can of course select which carriers are available here. We've selected our product, so we're going to do a 20, and let's say we also want to do a 25-year term. And then we can select our riders, and then this is new as well. So you can now filter by product feature. And one of the things that we heard a lot is agents are actually getting confused on this. They think that they have to filter based on product features, but you don't have to. You can leave it completely blank. So what we're actually going to be doing is we're moving that into the quote results, and so that way you get to the results, and then you filter it down by product features, and I'll show you kind of how you'll be able to do that. But that's new. I really like this because it really helps agents sell based on product fit rather than just price. Right? A lot of agents now, or historically, have just sold on price. They run the quote and they say, oh, here's the top 3 cheapest, but there's no determining what's the right product for that customer. And so this now at least is our first stab at being able to, filter by terminal illness rider covered or conversion or things like that. And we may even get even more detailed with like what kind of conversion, what does it convert to and stuff like that here in the future. But right now, this is kind of a first stab at it, basically better than anything else that's out there. Sean C, it looks like you said, can we get a copy of this webinar? My internet connection keeps going up and down. Sean C, this webinar will be sent out after the fact. You'll get an automatic email of the recording. So please note that we will be sending this out after. We will also be posting it on our YouTube channel. Great, well, let's run a quote. We click View Quote Results here. And it takes about a second. And here we have our quote results. You can see here. Now, these quote results aren't changing a whole lot. The only thing that we got feedback on here are when you run the quote, people liked how in our old quote engine, the classic version, you could see your inputs up at the top. You didn't have to expand these cards to see what your inputs were. And so we've, in the new one up here, we've got like a little synopsis here of what the quote results were, or what you put in, like the coverage, the riders, who the agent was, if we put that in, and some basic information, right? You can see the carriers down here, so we don't need to show that. And you can also see the products, but the coverage amounts and stuff like that. So that will be adjusted slightly, but other than that, the quote results basically from this gray bar down are pretty much the same. One thing I forgot to mention this, just so you know, we are aware that this industry isn't always the best at technology, and there are some agents out there who really struggle with technology. We understand that there's training that needs to happen. There's guidance that you need to give your agents, and so we are cognizant of that. And so one of the things that we've done is there's this button up here that says Switch to Classic. That allows you to go back to the old version of the quote engine, the one you're used to. It does ask for some feedback. Hey, why did you switch back to the old version? But here's, they can go back to this very easily and run quotes there if they want. I think we ran it with a couple different products here. I'm sure we run it right. So keep that in mind. If one of your agents calls you and is frustrated or something like that, just let them know. Hey, just click the switch back to Classic, and we're going to leave that there for a while. It doesn't have some of the new features, though. Keep that in mind, like the ability to run multiple face mount, the PDF layout, the product filtering. A lot of that's not there in the old Classic version. But we do understand that some of them just need a quick quote and don't want to take the time to learn a new platform right now. We hope that they will take the time, because eventually this is what we're moving towards, or this is what is going to be the standard platform. But for right now, just keep that in mind. So here at the quote results, there's a couple different things we can do. Up here, we could do a search. I really like this search because it really helps you get to where you want, and it's really responsive. It's not like you have to put in a bunch of stuff and then click and then wait for search. Watch this. As I type, you can see the results change. So I typed in protective. If I type in trans, you can see it changes. If I type in PAC, PAC, really quickly get to what you're looking for if you're looking for a specific carrier or even a product. So if you want to see all the Vitality products, you type in Vital, and you can see it limits it down really quickly. Really nice, quick, responsive search. Also, there's this filter option up here at the top right. So I really like this. This filter option allows you to do a couple different things. Just like on the old one, you can sort by monthly premium, quarterly premium, semi-annual, or annual premium. You can also sort by face amount or by carrier name. Most people do monthly premium. And then you can do ascending or descending order. Now, this grouping option is new. So this actually came as a result of some feedback from one of our brokerage clients, was that these tabs up here are kind of what help you get to what you're looking for quickly. So if you're going to do a comparison for a client, you want to compare the top 3 20-year terms and the top 3 25-year terms, you can come in here. But what if you want to compare something a little bit different? You want to compare the face amounts because you ran multiple face amounts. So top 3 at $1 million and top 3 at 500,000. So you can quickly come in here and change that and change what you can, even if you ran multiple health categories. So let's say we added, we had preferred, but we also had preferred plus as comparisons. We can then come in and we can change those little tabs to those different options. So I come in here and I say by health categories. So now we've got our preferred. So if they're going to end up in preferred, here's going to be their top 3. Or if they're going to end up in preferred plus, here's going to be their top 3. Really nice little adjustments that you can make that help you get to where you're going faster. Again, going back to that speed and usability, that's something that I think really helps that process. There's also a filter by premium. This is pretty cool. This has been in the mobile app for a while. So if you've got our mobile app or you've seen one of our mobile app platforms, we've had this since the beginning. But now you can say, oh, you know what, the customer is okay with paying, at least $50 a month, but they don't want to pay more than $100 a month. So I just want to see quotes between $50 and $100. So let's get the most, and then let's change the grouping by face amount. So let's get them the cheapest one, or not the cheapest, but let's get the best product for that, that kind of thing. So you can really kind of adjust things as you need with these different filters. And right now you can also go in here and change a feature filter, but this is actually going to be moving. So in the new quote engine, like I said, a lot of people said they didn't need the features to run the initial quote. They need the features more as a filter here at the end. So we're going to be adding a section over here where you'll be able to do a product feature filter as well. So in this new quote engine, that'll be here. So here's, you can see it's the same as the other one, but there will be a section over here, I believe on the left, where it'll list all the product features. Either that or it'll be like a pop-up modal where you'll be able to filter down which features that you want to show. You'll still be able to see the filters within the carrier or the features within each carrier, but yeah, so you can, you'll be able to, those will be moving down to here shortly, but right now it's up here at the very top. So let me go back and restart the quote. I'm just going to run a new one. And it does save the criteria you put in last time, so like the carriers and things like that. But let's say now we want to do some comparing. We want to look at some of the details of these quotes. We've now done the filtering. We've kind of got to what we want. We have an idea what the customer wants. You can now go in here, and there's a, in the old one, there was a like click to expand. Now the mouse over as it gets started, or you can go down here to the bottom of each quote card and you can click on show details. If you click on Show Details, it's going to show you first the carrier features. So here's another place that we're using those features. That's not changing in the new kind of option. Hey, Washington, hold your question here. I'm going to get to that in just a second, okay? The answer is yes, but I'll show you that here in a second. So you can see product features. You can grab the forms over here. So just like before, you can grab you can go in here and say, hey, we need new business forms. We can download those right here from the quote results. You can see the new forms UI. This is a little bit of a different user experience. We added the descriptions here a little more easily at a glance. So if there's if you want to see a little bit more about this information, standard packet, by the way, means like it's a new business required form. So that's all here. You can just see, but what's cool is you can actually go through. Before you had to kind of search through what you wanted, but now you can say, hey, I just want the underwriting guide for this carrier, or I just want to see any of the customer service forms. So that's or supplemental forms. That's all right here within each quote for that specific carrier, state, and product. If we go carrier overview, this is where you see your AM Best ratings and a little bit of financials on that company. Premium breakdown, if there's any kind of table rating or anything like that, that's going to show here, or policy fee. You can see that here as well. So that's what's in this details section. You can also click Get Started. Get Started, that's going to take you to our either our e-app process or our e-ticket process. One of those, depending on what you want. That's just like before. Before that was in that, it was in the drop-down. There was that action bar that kind of came across here when you dropped it down. But we felt like Get Started, having a Get Started button up here was more apropos for what it's used for. So I come over here, I click on Get Started, and then I can choose the e-app, the e-ticket, or if you built any kind of custom actions into the quote engine, you can pop over there. Like some people like to put a link out to the login portion of the carrier website, or you can put whatever you want here as well. We've got our integrations. This is our direct ticket with Protective. This is the other one here is that's our e-app platform where you can fill out the entire application and send it off for e-signature. Hopefully you all can hear me. My voice is a little bit hoarse. And some carriers do have this important information section here as well. So if you click on that, there's a little bit of like a carrier information that they wanted to make sure everyone knew about. And this next should answer your question, Washington. So when you're ready to, let's say we want to send this off to a client, and we're going to pick the top 3 here. You'll see as I select them, it adds this gray bar up here at the top. It says 3 quotes selected. I can then share or compare these products. If I click on compare, it brings up this nice little product comparison. Gary, you'll be automatically sent a copy of this webinar later, and we'll also be posting it on our YouTube channel. Make sure you all subscribe to our YouTube channel. Every time we do a webinar, we post them there. But here we have a nice little comparison where I can compare those products, and I can see the face amounts, premiums, all that kind of stuff. But I can also, over here, now see the product features of that carrier or that specific product. You can see here the Transamerican, the John Hancock product have a lot more features than that American General product. The only thing that American General product has compared to the others is its conversion. But the American General product, it looks like the American General product in this case is actually more expensive. So yeah, you can do a nice little comparison, and you can also click share and get to the PDFs from here as well. And this is where Washington, you had that question about when you send a quote to a client, can the system also send the product flyer? Oh, I didn't read your question all the way. The answer is no on that. We don't have the product flyers for all the carriers. So currently, no. You'd have to send that off separately. But if you want to share these quotes, I can then click on share. And just like before, I can download, email, or text a quote right from here. And if I go next, you can see there used to be just one option. and it would just generate this PDF here. This is the one you guys are used to seeing if you've been using the Yankton platform. Very easy to use, really nice looking, but we've got two other options. So we've got a quote comparison. This is a premium comparison PDF, and then we have our feature comparison PDF here. As well as one of the things that's new, let me take a drink of water here. One of the things that's also new is that we can build custom PDFs here as well. So this is something we didn't do before. This is something that we get requests all the time to make an adjustment to a PDF or something like that. And now for a small fee, we can build you your own custom PDF. So you tell us exactly what you want. You can either design it yourself or have us design it, whichever way works best for you. But we can work with you on that. So let me show you these new PDFs that are here, though. And so I come in here. This is going to be for John Doe. Normally, it would autofill that if I put it in the first page. But here's this PDF. This is a premium comparison. So you can see here's the monthly premium comparison. Here's the quarterly premium comparison, semi-annual and annual. And so that's a nice little PDF that you can put in the output, or you can select the product comparison. So we utilize some of those product features here in a comparison PDF, where you can see, oh, here's the different features that those carriers have. And so you can see that here in an output as well. So those are the new PDF layouts that you can output from the agency live quarter. And we'd love to hear from you. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this? If you go to your agency live quarter that you're currently and you just go switch back to Classic, it'll actually ask you, what you like and what you don't like, things like that. And so I believe I've covered all the new features of the new agency live quarter. Like I said, keep an eye out for some additional adjustments here that are coming. Another thing that is coming with this new one here, this new one, so to speak, is we are adding in this guided tour. This is pretty cool, and I'm not entirely sure exactly how it's going to turn on, whether it's going to be something you have to click on to do, or if it's going to be kind of like a first time you go through it like we used to have. But essentially what the guided tour will do is this will really help your agents get started. Whenever we make these kind of adjustments, we're very cognizant that these agents are going to be contacting you as the brokerage for help when updates come out to our platform. And so we want to try to make it easy when we make an adjustment. So we've got this little tour that they can pop through and explain the different pieces of it, how to use them, what they're used for, stuff like that. We're going to be doing that with all of our products moving forward. So it'll kind of jump through and help out the agent understand the whole platform. And so that was one of the pieces of feedback that we get a lot, is that a lot of agencies don't need help onboarding the agents or switching them when we make updates. And so we'll also be providing documentation that you can share to your agents and try to help you there as well. This new quote engine should eliminate a lot of clicks and should help you get to where you're going quicker. And so keep an eye out for this. We'll, of course, let you know and announce it when it comes out. But you can see once you get here, everything else is pretty much the same. As what I showed you, there's just some slight adjustments to kind of the quickness of getting to these quote results based on a lot of the feedback that we've been getting from our customers. So the last thing I want to show you is just, you've probably noticed this if you're using our forms engine. Our forms engine got a facelift here. We've only gotten positive feedback on this, so we're not going to be making any adjustments to this. But you can quickly, just like before, you can quickly come down here, grab the forms that you need for a carrier and product and state. It's a standard packet here, and grab the forms that you want. So you can see that's slightly changed. It's just kind of the sidebar approach. It's made it a little quicker to get people to what they want. Also allows us to give a little more info and to adjust it quickly. So that's the new forms engine here as well. Awesome. Well, that's the new platform, guys. Thank you all for joining us. We're pretty excited about these updates, and we really appreciate everyone who's been giving us feedback on the Agency Life Quoter and Forms Engine and all the adjustments we've been making. It's very important for not just for us as a company, but to make sure that we create a product that is the best possible fit for you and your agents. And so, we know that it's sometimes difficult to go through these adjustments, but really keep in mind we are moving towards creating the best possible product for you. And that's very important to us. We've always been a company who's prided ourselves on user experience and ease of use of our platform. And so being able to make those types of adjustments are very important. I will also just pop into the slide. Keep in mind we do have some package pricing that now includes all the products. And so if you're not a current user, of the platform, then reach out to myself. I'll share my contact information here on the next screen, but reach out to myself about the platform, and I'd love to do a demo with you. Also, we have a special running for the month of December. It does end on December 31st, that we're giving 25% off all implementation fees with IXN. So reach out, and we'd love to help you. Jerry, I'll be reaching out. And then Robert, you asked, I'm sorry, I didn't catch how to pre-populate the agent info like in the classic version. I can go over that in here in just a second. I'll if you have any questions, put them in now. I'm going to be going over those in a second, making sure I've answered everybody's questions. Ask them over here in the right chat or down at the bottom. Here's my contact information. If you're interested in learning more, please feel free to call me or email me directly. Follow me on LinkedIn or on Twitter. I like to share industry news and different things that are going on. And also you can follow IXN. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll get updates when we do these webinars and we post them for review online. So that's what I have for you guys today. I'm now going to go through some questions here. Jerry, I'll be reaching out to you with pricing, like I said. Robert, you asked about how to pre-populate the agent info, like in the classic version. I'm assuming you mean the advanced configurations. So the old documentation that had the ways to pre-populate fields, name and agent info and stuff like that, that will still work. So you don't have to do any immediate adjustments if you've got the advanced configuration set up to pre-populate fields. If you don't have that set up, we've got documentation on how to do that. So there's documentation on how to pre-populate proposed insured info, so like first name, last name, date of birth, gender, and then on the agent side, you can pre-populate the first name, last name, email, phone number, and license number. You can also pre-populate that by having an IXN login account. They can create one right here, and that basically creates a member in the dashboard here. So if you log in, so you said I have to input the same info each time I use this. No, what it'll do is it'll also save a cookie. So when you put in this info and you come back to it, if you've got cookies enabled on your computer, which most people do, it'll autofill what you put in here last time. So if obviously if the agent's going to be different, if you're running it for like an agent underneath you, that's a different story. You're going to have to change that. But if it's just for you, and then you can, it should autofill this via cookie, or if you log in here and stay logged in, it'll utilize that to fill it as well. Hopefully that answers your question. The third option would be those advanced configurations. That you can find the info on that if you click on support here on the left side. Excuse me. And then you click on this Agency Life Quoter section on our support page. You can see all the articles. The top one says migrating your ALQ advanced embed configuration. This shows the advanced embed configurations if you're auto-filling that. Here it shows you all the different things you can fill and stuff like that. So hope that answers your question. Let's see here. It looks like there's no other questions. Oh, looks like there's some questions down here from Stephen. Does this platform have final expense, health, and many agent can use this at one time? All right, Stephen. So we do have final expense, term, and GUL. We do not have health quoting. So we can quote final expense on our platform. That's new. We launched that a few months ago. And then you ask, and can many agents use this at the same time? The answer is yes. So it's designed to like embed onto your website or into an agency management system or something like that. And there can be multiple agents on there running quotes at the same time. We run millions of quotes on our platform. And so, yes, the answer is yes on that. You said, I have an agency with other agents. And so I'm happy to talk to you, Stephen, if you're interested in learning more. I'm not sure if that was a question, but I'm going to mark that as answered. If you want, I'd love to talk to you about it and see if it's a good fit for your agency. It's like Washington, you said on the GUL, can you do juvenile policy? You know, I don't know on that, Washington. I'll have to get back to you on that. But I'll check into that. That's a good question. If there's no other questions, it looks like the questions have stopped. So if there's no other questions, we'll end it here. Again, you will be sent a recording of this webinar, and feel free to reach out to us, guys. We love to hear from our clients. We love to hear feedback. We are doing a lot of adjustments right now, and if you have feedback, good or bad, we want to hear good feedback too. If there's something you like, make sure we don't take it away, you know. And so if there's something you don't like, then we want to hear that as well, so we can adjust it to fit your needs. It's very important to us that we get good feedback and that we pay attention to what the customers are saying. So give us a call. Again, my contact information this is my direct contact information. My name is Lasse Young. You can see I put the pronunciation there because not everybody knows how to pronounce my name, but I won't be offended if you mispronounce it. There's my direct line and my email address. Love to talk to you. Hope you guys have happy holidays and are off to a great start in the new year. Take it easy, everybody.